Hey sis, this is Nakia Drummond, founder of The Well, and I am here to share some of our latest and greatest, some updates that we have made to our program and the structure of our program so that we can live more true to our belief, my belief that the answer is almost always in the room, and so that we can make space for all the things that are going on in our lives now, especially as we remained in this virtual space, remain with kids at home, all of those things, the ways in which our lives have changed over this last year, and to hopefully make this a space where you continue to grow and thrive. Some of these things are in response to your feedback, and we are really excited. So let's jump in. Stick with me for 10 minutes-ish, and I will get through it all. It will not be longer than that. Okay, so let's jump in. First thing is we have four touch points that for the most part are monthly. So I want to go through those, want to go through what some of the updates to those touch points are, what they look like. So we have our monthly meetups, and those will happen in the morning. They'll continue to happen in the morning. I'll go through in more detail what the changes look like, but we also have our virtual lunches. Those will be midday, lunchtime. It will continue to be at that time, and we'll share some of those shifts with that. The biggest thing with the virtual lunch that's going to shift is we want to be even more deliberate about making this a space where self-care is the purpose, the intent. And so where our meetup is focused on content and learning, our virtual lunches will be focused on unplugging and providing a space for self-care, a moment for you to just kind of take a breather, a pause. We will have some opportunities to learn some breathing techniques, meditation practice, some self-care practices, some mental health practices, and even some physical health practices and nutrition. So that is our goal with that, with our virtual lunch, and some productivity hacks. Our accountability syncs, those will now happen in late afternoon. So we want to make those occur later in the day. They will serve a new intensified purpose, if you will, and we'll get into that in a moment. But these sessions give a space for us to celebrate one another, for us to problem solve, for us to goal set, and to be accountable. It really is like your personal accountability partner group. And then we have our socials, and these are things that we'll do weekends and evenings. They don't always happen every single month. It depends on the month, around the holidays and things like that. Things get really busy. And so we do those in a looser format, but it's a time to really let loose and play. And that's, we'll continue to do. So focus on the meetups. Our meetups, we're changing the structure a little bit. One key change is they're going from a 3-hour to a 90-minute time frame. So we recognize being online, being virtual, now that we've moved there, it is, it's a bit more taxing. So we are moving to a 90-minute format. And even as we go back in person, we believe that format can totally work as well. So it'll be 90 minutes with a breakdown of networking, learning, and planning. And so we will implement our action planning process and use our action planning template, which you can find in the problem and practice and action planning workbook. We'll continue to use that as a structure. The learning will look slightly different, and that's this breakdown you see here. And so we'll still go quarter by quarter, focused in on whichever domain we're covering for the quarter, and these are our domains. And we will, in that time frame, in month one, have an expert guest. This is somebody, sort of external to the well, who can come in, share on the topic, go deep on a specific area of that domain, share some expertise with us. We'll have an opportunity to ask questions and learn from them. In month two, we're going to have our expert insider, so a well member who is an expert on that domain topic, to deepen the discussion from the first month with her own expertise and knowledge, or to go into another topic within that domain where we have some need and desire to continue to learn. And then in month 3, we'll have our well talk, which is, if you think about a TED talk or how I built this podcast, that's a structure that we want to use for that, where a member who is not a subject matter expert in the domain topic itself, but she has some major lessons learned and some strategies and maybe even tools from her experience, and how it had from her experience with that particular domain in her business, how she's grown. So for example, somebody who has really learned to access capital, she's using certain strategies that help her to access capital. Well, she's not a finance expert, but she's got some expertise in how she's navigating that space for her business. And we want to learn from every single one of us here. So I share with you that we will use the action planning template, and this is in our workbook. It really focuses in and helps you to focus on one thing that you want to take away and do from each of the sessions that we have, and we will make time for that to happen. Then we have our accountability syncs. So this is going to be the opportunity that picks up where the meetup leaves off. And so in this, the accountability syncs will also be 90 minutes, and they will happen once a month, late afternoon. And you will be able to access and join a pod of choice. We're going to design pods based on topic areas that you all indicate as your areas of desired growth and goals this in the year for your businesses. And pods will sort of stay intact for at least a 6-month period. And then and we say 6 months because we bring new members in every 6 months. So if you join a particular topic-based pod, then when new members come in, maybe you want to move on, maybe you want to stick around for the whole year, your choice. And then we have an opportunity for, it gives you an opportunity to get feedback, and you can do that in your pod at the accountability sync in either a more detailed, structured way through our problem of practice format, which I'll share in a moment, or you can do it in at a higher level, kind of quick round of feedback through our PPP process, not to be confused with the PPP loan, but we will get into that. So our PPP feedback process is a praise, a pressure, and a promise. It gives you 3 to 5 minutes to share, and then 5 minutes of feedback or support. There's no kind of template for it. You just kind of think about those 3 things as you share out and get feedback. And it really is about, what are you celebrating? What's challenging you, keeping you up at night? And then what do you want to be held accountable for? What do you want to promise to yourself? But if you want to go deeper and you want more time and structure for what you share and really want more in-depth feedback, then you can always do the problem of practice. And that template and that whole process is laid out in the workbook. And the only caveat here is that you'll just need to sign up in advance for the problem of practice so that we can make sure that we don't schedule too many in one session. Our virtual lunches, again, I mentioned they would be a place for us to really just fellowship and to like let our hair down or up. And then we'll have social events, some of the ones we've done in the past: cooking, lessons, mixology, happy hours, fitness, things that we want to do, that we enjoy doing, just to play. And then of course, we have our platform. This is our resource hub, our resource center. It's a space for informal networking, and it's also where all of our events are posted, where you can RSVP to them as well as see them there. How you can contribute and lead. This is really the crux of the way in which we are showing up differently. So we want to see all of our members getting an opportunity to show up as expert, because the expertise is in the room. And you can do that in meetups through serving as an expert on the domain, the insider expert. You can do that through meetups as a well talk presenter, the person who has learned something major around that particular domain that is helping her to grow in business. And you can do that in virtual lunches by sharing productivity hacks, leading us through self-care practices. As socials, you can host an event or we can co-host together. And accountability syncs. You can join a pod. So you don't have to, but you can certainly join a pod that will be topical and topic based and contribute your expertise by providing feedback to others, as well as getting the feedback you need. And then lastly, you can be a sponsor. We want to give you an opportunity to sponsor, to provide your products or your services as giveaways for various events or challenges that we put out to membership. And it gives you an opportunity to just share what it is that you have. You can make that a part of your business structure for the year to get your products out within this network. And so how do you get to show up? How can you tell, how can you decide, and how do you lay out how you want to show up and then share that back with us? Complete the self-reflection. We've created a very simple, about 7-ish questions, self-reflection, most of which are multiple choice. It is not a long, tedious task at all. It is a moment for you to stop and say, what do I want to get out of this year? What's my big goal here? And then also, how do I want to contribute and be and lead here this year? And so we're looking for people, for you all to complete the self-reflection by January 21st. And that's it. So looking forward to you showing up and for us